say Amen.
Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoshi Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Namah Suryaya Chandraya Mangadhaya Budhaya Cha Guru Shukra Shani Desha Rahuve Ketave Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Inhale deeply with Va. And exhale deeply with C through Sushumna Nadi. First pranayama 7 times. Follow me through. Mm. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Om Shri Guru Bhadikaya Namaha. 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 As informed last class, we'll be following Babaji's fascination as given in the Yoga Vedam book as our second and third love meditation in Yoga University. And hereafter we'll all use the Ganga Mudra and focusing on the Shambhavi Mudra, raising the eyes towards the eyebrows. And then after meditation, we say 16 times the gratitude to our Mahavata Babaji, our Guru, for having given these techniques and giving this knowledge. He is pushing us towards spiritual growth. So that gratitude and for his mercy, we thank him with Om Shri Guru Padagaya Namah 16 times. So that's what we'll be doing hereafter. So that explanation what we did today. Let's move on. As to the first pranayama, the deep transcendental Kriya consciousness. Inhaling deeply with Va and exhaling deeply with C through Sushumna Nadi. Follow me through 7 times. The deep transcendental Kriya consciousness. Let's do the second pranayama. Inhaling deeply with Va to Shushananadi and exhaling deeply with C. Shimanadi halfway through. Follow me 7 times. The deep transcendental Kriya consciousness. Let's do the third pranayama. Inhaling deeply with Vata Shimanadi and exhaling deeply. See a single breath. Following it through 7 times. This pranayam we are doing is called Kriya Kundalini Pranayam. Essentially, we are taking the energy out from the Kundalini Shakti that is in Muladhara Chakra. The distributive technique, we are getting our pure energy from the Muladhara to the Chakra. Again, this technique designed by our Siddharagasya and taught to Mahatma Babaji, Corona techniques. It is so appropriate for this COVID-19 times. As all of you know, the virus particularly attacks the nasopharyngeal region in the beginning. And I have a message saying that we have to practice this in this difficult COVID-19 times. This pranayam techniques before every meal. Once before breakfast, once before lunch, and once before dinner. It is highly recommended to do this to avoid any infection in the nasopharyngeal region. Even if there is something there, this should go away because we are getting the highest form of pranic energy during this pranayam. So with that message, let's continue. Again, as this Omicron and COVID-19, very different forms may come and go. Again, these are all challenges for humanity, and with our innate intelligence and knowledge, we are trying to work on it. Again, ultimately, as all of you know, it is always Almighty's grace, whatever is happening, and whatever is happening, whatever we are enjoying, or whatever we are suffering. So again, the Almighty is doing it, and we are going to again submit the same to Almighty. So that attitude, let's again pray Lord Vishnu through the Mantra Maharshi, through Mahatma Babaji to save us from this calamity completely. 7 times.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanantrayaya Amrita Kalasha Hastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanadaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.
Om Kriya Babaji Namaha. Om Kriya Babaji Namaha.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanantrayaya Amrita Kalasha Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanadaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.
Om Kriya Babaji Namaha.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanantrayaya Amrita Kalasha Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanadaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.
Om Kriya Babaji Namaha.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanantrayaya Amrita Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanadaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.
Om Kriya Babaji Namaha.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanantrayaya Amrita Kalasha Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanadaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.
Om Kriya Babaji Namaha.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanantrayaya Amrita Kalasha Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanadaya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.
Om Kriya Babaji Namaha. Happy New Year to everybody. We are stepping into the New Year 2022, and a lot of new messages have been given by Babaji, Mahatma Babaji. As you have seen in between, I get these messages. I just I'm a tool just to give a message in between. So let's do this pranayam at least until the end of the COVID-19 spread. This pranayam, what you are doing, Kriya Kundalini pranayam before every meal, just to get out of this situation. and never get affected by this situation in our family also. Okay, Baba. So we have been looking at Babaji's Yoga book for quite some time until 2021. And we are going to start some new lessons from Sutra and other stuff. Before we start doing that, as I was telling you before, so we'll be going to look at the Vinayagar Agaval. So it was so appropriate. We'll start with people have to get admitted before joining. You change it. Every time somebody wants to join, you have to admit it. So don't change it. You have to do that just a couple of times. So this Vinayagar Agaval, again, you're going to talk about it. You want to say any words from your last class? Or? Yeah, class before.
We finished with Yoga Vedam book, right?
Mm-hmm. Anything to mention the last lesson? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about that was the hold on. After 12, we did not have class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 12:19 we were not there, and then 12:28 I was not there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we started about the last Rishi that we were talking about was Brahma Rishi. This was on 12:12 class. So we talked about Brahma Rishi and about his first initiation technique. Brahma Rishi is the oldest guru and has lived with a lot of siddhas together, along with four Prasiddha in Sadragiri mountain and in Brahma Rishi forest, where they were performing yajna, and they asked Almighty that the forest to be given to the siddhas so that humankind can be benefited through by living by the siddhas living in the forest. During the yajna, in the Agni Kundam, a devata appeared to distract and obstruct them, and the Siddhas cursed them, and thus the lady was born as a tobacco plant called as Brahmakarpam. This is the Siddha who has tremendous powers, but also given another name as Shiva Brahmarishi, Jnana Sutra, and his poem was in the Jnana Sutram poem. This is a very difficult book to procure. The book also mentions about his 32 poems and also about the first initiation. This is the place where the soul is located, which is the Torah. Focus there, and this is your only Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga. This is the first teacher. Only when one stays for a long time, one gets download here. Give up all the desires of this world. Focus on the desire, on one desire to focus on this, and one can achieve everything. There are three eyes in the head, which is the triangle, which is a symbolic representation. There is in that merging point is the life force or the life source, and focus there, and the breath should go there and come out. Put your mind there, and the eight cities can be achieved. And by focusing there on a constant basis, the birth and the death cycle will change, and eventually the wheel or the Jivatma will join with the light of the soul, which is your Jyoti, and one can understand all the truth. All the 18 siddhas have achieved this. And there was special thanks to Venkatramanji in order to procure such difficult books and poems and to mention about your about first initiation. Now, another one that was explained by Babaji after the 18 siddhas was the Vyabhana Chakra. Vyabhana Chakra in Kriya science explains the Vyabhanam which means dispersion. Now, going back to the initial one where we had a contraction, this contraction then expands, and within the contracted state, the moolam comes out and expands without any limit. Now, this is one of the explanations similar to the Big Bang theory. Now, that is dispersion. Now, Babaji explained that this is a chakra due to this dispersion from the contracted state. Expansion due to this state from the contracted state, expansion occurs without any movement, and this is called as the Vyavhana chakra. This is compared to the same way as the mind, which is in a contracted state in a human, and it expands continuously without stopping for even an atomic second. The thoughts that keep spreading out and out without any limits, and because of this continuous spreading of these thoughts, there is an action, which is dispersion. There is a result, which is an impression. This leads to incidents that happen due to this. Then Jivatma Shakti also spreads and thus gets wasted, leading to the birth and death cycle. Thus, through the mind, the thoughts are happening because of this contracted state. So it becomes, so the mind becomes the Vibhana chakra, which is your non-physical chakra. Now there has to be a force to make this chakra move. Once this force is reduced, then this chakra has to stop. Just like that, the force can be slowed down through Kriya Yoga and stop the mind. This is what the first technique of the mantra tells you, and this is Kriya knowledge. There is an easy way to do this or to stop the mind from working or not having thought. First thing is to stop the thoughts. Practice this very rigorously, and initially it will be difficult, but eventually it can be attained. Once it is attained, make it as a practice, and then one can stay in the 16th step, which is the highest, yet the simple Sukshma state. Many people cannot understand that the mind cannot be stopped unless they practice this science. Mind is formed because of the Jivatma rotation. Because of this rotation, there is a force that becomes mind. This is the main reason where there are thoughts which leads to actions, which leads to results, which leads to imprint, and the cycle of birth and death continues. Now, if this rotation of this chakra stops, then all will stop. And this is the Kriya that we are constantly asked to practice. Thus, one has to understand this very clearly and put it in action. Even the highest saints, they may not notice. They feel this for a short time during practice and they will attain it. But once this practice is over, the mind starts rotating again. Then, when it comes with more force, then more actions are formed. And if they don't understand this truth, it will go into a cycle. So don't get cheated by this because it occurs for only short duration, but it can be prolonged by controlling one's thought. The last lesson of the Yoga Veda talked about Putra Diksha Anubhavam. Putra Diksha, I don't know which one that was. I wrote it. I couldn't read it.
How do you
It's
write?
Patra Diksha Anubhavam, Putra Diksha Anubhavam. Pura Diksha, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Pura Diksha Anubhavam, which is outside experience, which is your Sukshma. Pura Diksha Anubhavam. So one has to, Babaji told us to listen carefully, and thus he explains every Uyir or Jivatma, Jiva Anu or Jivatma, including plants, it consists of an atomic electric and magnetic energy, which is together called as the Jiva Ganga Shakti. This Shakti amounts for quantity that are charged that are changed for different species. Thus, based on the different quantity, rotational, and speed, there are different species that are formed. Now, this atom that is filled with the quality of the Jivatma and characteristics depends on the quantity of the speed and the rotation, and therefore there are a lot of differences between the different species. By this Kriya practice, we stop the wastage of this energy, and by increasing the rotational force, one can attain the Prabanja energy and directly mingle with that. Because of this merging, this is what is Vanamritam or Ambrosia. Once a body, once one gets a body that will never change, and there will be boundless energy and also deathlessness state. Babaji goes on to explain how death actually occurs. Now, because of this Jiva Anushakti, there are vibrations, and through these vibrations, you have a resulting mind. Now, through the resulting mind, there are thoughts that are come, through which actions are performed, which leads to imprints, and thus drains the Jiva Shakti every second. When it is completely gone, this Jiva Shakti has no energy. Then the energy of the Prabanja will be attracted from the body without the consciousness, and thus leads to death. Kriya Yoga main purpose is to stop this kind of death through unconscious level, and thus by practicing Kriya Yoga, one and pranayam, one can produce more energy. Puradiksha Anubhavam, which is your outside experience. A lot of yogis increase their Jiva Shakti for a specific matters. They use this energy to show miracles or siddhis, and they do little siddha, which is small action.
Chittas.
Siddha, right? Siddha, which is through small actions. By use of this energy, by touching them, and when they use this energy for wrongdoing, which is like magic, this is an experience of Puradiksha. This will lower their energy to a lower state, and thus people can get cheated and will follow that and will fall for that. Since these yogis have more magnetic energy, the trust of the people grows, and they become and they attract people, and the people become slaves and completely surrender to them and believe in this yogi that they will save them without following their own yoga sadhana. This is absolutely wrong and can be very, very temporary. For a Kriya yogi, the characteristics are when Diksha is given to a person, it can be given at any place, to any person, any surrounding. There should be no miracles. Now, they have to make them understand that they can experience their own practice, they can experience their own miracles through their own practice and experience, and one has to understand this. Imagine a magnet that will attract smaller magnets through electricity. However, once the electricity is taken away, they all fall apart. Do not fall for this kind of magnetic power. Thus, the sparsha diksha will never be permanent. Instead of depending on other person, attain the real Prapancham energy. There is no need to depend on someone else, as, as once you attain the real power, Prapancha energy, this energy is permanent. Thus, do your own sadhana to achieve this. There will be changes that will occur due to this sadhana. A lot of energy is given, but one has to understand that this has to come naturally and not suddenly, as the stula body cannot handle it. There could be physical or mental problems if this energy suddenly enters through the body. Do not fall for it, and others praise or they call them the so-called gurus, they will misuse that power. Only through these Kriya Yoga techniques one can attain their own Pramanja energy. Do not even waste a small drop of this attained Pramanja energy. Never perform any siddhis for personal use. Thus, the purpose of a true yoga practices is to get experiences and to get the permanent samadhi state, deathlessness state, which is the ultimate purpose. And remember this all the time. Understand the reality and the truth and differentiate from the untruth or the Maya and never fall for that. Do not slide back to the lower state, only aim for higher state of spirituality. And after that, when Ramaji concluded by saying that do not consider me as a yogi, I am practicing myself, do not get disappointed or expect to meet me to get more energy when in person. This is what was written as it was given to me. Keep reading this Yoga Veda more than once to understand the deeper meanings. Do not waste the time to meet me. Read and do the practice on a daily basis. And this was the end of the Yoga Veda book.
Good. So amazingly, we just finished this end of the year. We finished this book, and the essential content we are going to follow in our university, and little by little, all the information will be given to you. The first step I was talking about, we are going to completely follow between the line exactly what Babaji has told us as the first level initiation, Babaji's first level initiation. He gives initiation. This is the first level initiation. He gave first step rather, because there are 16 steps in his techniques until the deathless state. So samadhi state. So the first technique, first step, has been explained in detail by Ramanji, as explained by Babaji to him. We went through that again last class, and we just follow exactly as given as our Yoga University's second and third technique. That is the focusing on our third eye, right? Shambhavi Mudra. And also Babaji's, Ramanji has mentioned there, to finish the meditation with the 16 time Om Sri Gurupadagaya Nama, with the intention of thanking all our ancestors and gurus who gave these techniques and knowledge to us. Okay, so that is what we have been doing. So the new year, so as appropriate, we're going to just pray to Ganesh for 2022, the new year. Vinayagar Agaval, given by one of the, no more than our great Siddha, Lady Siddha Avaya. Many of you might have heard of the name, but particularly those who study in Tamil medium schools, I'm sure you will be knowing this saint, but for the rest of the world, she is one of those siddhas, not belonging to 18 siddha category, but still she's one of these siddhas who gave a lot of poems of jnana, right from all the students. She was also a sincere devotee of Lord Muruga, as well as Lord Ganesha. Of course, they're all Shaiva Siddhanta followers, Shiva followers. And history shows she has lived in 10th century, in the Chola period times. And a lot of history, and the movies have been taken in the name of her. And if you look at the life history of, I'm sure I have told a life history, but to mention briefly, Avaya, when she was born, she was a born saint. So she grew up in a typical traditional Hindu family, and she didn't want to become like a normal. She didn't want to lead a normal life, a married person. She wanted to be a brahmachari, but her family members, as usual, did not agree to that. They forced her to marriage. And there was a bridegroom coming to see her, attracted to the beauty of Avaya in her young stage, in her teens. Avaya didn't want him to like her, so she prayed Lord Ganesh very sincerely. She went to the Lord Ganesh temple actually to pray sincerely when there was this function going on. And she became an old lady with the blessings of Lord Ganesh. Uh, and so since she took the old form when she was only 18 years old, the bridegroom could not marry her. So this is how the story goes. And from that time onwards, she got away from her own family with their permission, of course. She went away because of Chola period. Those days, all those followers of Lord Shiva has been given shelter, food, and everything free. She could move anywhere she wanted freely. And she was making poems and giving advice to kings and everything. There was a lot of Chola kings like Adima and other people who were related to Avaya. The story goes like that, and understand the story, the life history goes like that. And even today, she is one of the revered Siddha, Tamil Siddha, among these South Indian Tamil people. The reason why we are talking about today, one of the important poems she gave to all of us to say is Vinayagar Agaval, which is sung by many of the people the early morning. And man, I was reciting this all the time. We saw that a lot of yogic principles have been given by the Siddha. So it's so appropriate in 2022 for us to recite these poems and then go through the meanings, particularly these meanings of yoga, meditation, jnana, and 16 tattvas, and so on and so forth. 36 tattvas, and so on and so forth. All right, so I'm going to recite that poem for this new year, 2022. And this goes like this. See the Chandamarai Poo. Again, this is about Lord Ganesh. Is explaining the way Lord Ganesh looks. பாதச்செலவு பல விசைப்பாட பொன்னரை ஞானம் பூந்தியில் அடையும் வண்ணமருங்கில் வளர்ந்தெரிப்ப பேழை வயிறும் பெரும்பாரக்கோடு வேழமுகம் விலங்கு சிந்துகரமும் அஞ்சுகரமும் அங்குச பாசமும் நெஞ்சிற்குடிகொண்டு நீலமேனியும் நான்ற வாயும் நாலு பயமும் மூன்று கண்ணும் மதச்சோடும் இரண்டு செவியும் இலங்கு பன்முடியும் இரண்டு முக்குள் திருழி மாறும் சொற்பதம் கடந்த துரிய மெய்ஞான அற்புதம் நின்ற கற்பகக்களிரே முப்பழனுவரும் முஷ்ய வாகன இப்பொழுது என்னை ஆட்கொள்ள வேண்டி தாயா எனக்கு தான் எழுந்தருளி மாயா பிறவி மயக்க மறுத்து திருந்திய முதல் 5 எழுத்தும் தெளிவாய் புறந்தவே வந்து என் உளந்தனி புரிந்து குருவடிவாகி கோளையந்தண்ணி திருவடி வைத்து திறனது பொருளன வாடா வகைதான் மகிழ்ந்தனக்கருளி கோடாயிருத்தால் கொடிவினை கலைந்தே ஓட்டா உபதேசம் புகட்டியின் செவியில் தெவிட்டாத ஞானம் தெளிவியும் காட்டி ஐம்புலந்தன்னை அடக்கும் உபாயம் என்பொரு கருணையின் எழுதின கருளி கருவியில் ஒடுங்கும் கருத்தினை அறிவித்து இருவினை தன்னை அறுத்தில் கடிந்து கலமறு 4 தந்தன கருளி மலமறு 3 மயக்கம் மறுத்து 9 வாயில் ஒரு மந்திரத்தால் ஐம்புலக்கலவை அடைப்பதும் காட்டி 6 ஆதாரத்து அங்குச நிலையும் ஏறா நிறுத்தி பேச்சை அறுத்து இடைப்பின் கலையின் எழுத்தறிவித்து கடையிற் சிறுமுனை கபாலம் காட்டி 3 மண்டலத்தின் முட்டிய தோணி 4 பாம்பின் நாவல் உணர்த்தி குண்டலின் எதிரில் கூடிய அசபை ஒன்றொரு மந்திரம் வெளிப்பட உரைத்து மூலாதாரத்தின் 3 கணலை காலால் எழுக்கும் கருத்தறிவித்து நமது நிலையும் ஆதிக்கன இயக்கமும் குமுதசகாயின் குணத்தையும் கூறி இடைச்சக்கரத்தின் ஈரற்ற நிலையும் சக்கரத்தின் உறுப்பையும் காட்டி சண்முகதுலமும் சதுரமுக சுக்கமும் எண்முகமாக எதிர்கருளி ஒரு 8 காயம் புலப்பட எனக்கு தெரியற்ற நிலையும் தரிசனப்படுத்தி கருத்தில் கபால வாயில் காட்டி இருத்தி முத்தியின் இதன கருளி எண்ணெய் அறிவித்து என கருள் செய்து முன்னை வினையின் முதலை களைந்து வாக்கும் மனமில்லா மனோலையும் நோக்கியே எந்தன் சிந்தை தெளிவித்து இருள்வழி 2க்கு ஒன்றிடம் என்ன அருள்திருமான தழைத்தின் செவியில் எல்லையெல்லா ஆனந்தம் அளித்து குழல்களேந்தே அறிவழி காட்டி சத்தத்தின் உள்ளே சதாசிவம் காட்டி சித்தத்தினுள்ளே சிவலிங்கம் காட்டி அணுவிற்கு அணுவாய் பாலுக்கு அப்பாலாய் கணுமுற்றி நின்ற கரும்புள்ளே காட்டி வேடமும் நீர் விலங்கு நிறுத்தி குடுமை துண்டர் குழாத்துடன் கூடி அஞ்சக்கரத்தின் அரும்புள் தன்னை நெஞ்சக்கரத்தில் அலைவித்து தத்து நுழையை தந்தனையாண்ட வித்தக விநாயக விரைக்கடல் சரணே. Vinaya Poetry. So that's how it goes. The song Vinayagar Agaval. First few lines, of course. Before I start explaining the meaning, I have to tell the way it is said how Aware sang this song. It's almost at the last part of her life. She sang this song. Apparently, it seems Aware has this tradition or habit of praying Lord Ganesh every day in the morning, as we all do, and then start all our activities. And one day, of course, in her old age, of course, real old age, she was praying Lord Ganesh in the temple, earlier praying with Lord Ganesh and doing this puja and everything. And then when she was doing puja to Lord Ganesh, she heard a thunder-like voice in the sky. So she looked at the sky, and she saw one of the Siddha-like saint. His name is Trinyana Samandar. So apparently it looks like from this information, she lived contemporary to Trinyana Samandar. Most of you know Trinyana Samandar, Tirunavukkarasar, Appar. All of these saints are as statues in most of the Hindu temples. So Trinyana Samandar was going to Kailash, it seems. She was traveling to Kailash to see Lord Shiva, and since he has the ability to fly on his own whenever he wants, he could go. And he was also taking the king of the country, the Chola, to Lord to Kailasha to see Lord Shiva. So once she saw them, her attention get diverted, and she wishes she can go to Kailash also along with them. So there's a break in her prayer to Lord Ganesh, and then she looks at Lord Ganesh and then starts praying. And instead of praying as usual, she's praying a little faster that day, giving all the rituals to Lord Ganesh faster. And then apparently it seems Lord Ganesh looks at her and saying, "Why are you so doing these rituals, prayers to me so fast today?" And then apparently it seems Avaya tells him that I also want to go quickly to see Lord Shiva along with Trinyana Samandar. Since they are flying, they can go faster when I had to walk, so it'll take us a lot of time. So I'm going doing quickly your prayers. And then apparently Lord Ganesh told her, no, don't worry. Just take your own time, pray as usual, go to the rituals as usual, quietly and take your time. And I promise you that I will take you to Kailash to see Lord Shiva before Trinyana Samandar. That's what he promises her. With that promise of Lord Ganesh, she's so happy. So then, it seems after that, she sang this Vinayagar Agaval song very sincerely towards Lord Ganesh. And Lord Ganesh was very happy with this Vinayagar Agaval. Then, apparently, it seems Lord Ganesh, after the end of the song, Lord Ganesh took Avaya with Vinayagar's Lord Ganesh trunk and take her to Kailash directly and put her there in front of Kailash, in front of Lord Shiva. And then OARC, Trinyana Samandar, other people just coming after her. So that's how the information goes, the story goes. And so with that intro, so let's go into the meaning. So it has some very spiritual history also for Vinayagar Agaval. With the blessings of Babaji, I'm trying to explain the meaning for this Vinayagar Agaval now. So the first few of the lines explains the Lord Ganesh, how he looks, right? Chidakalaba, Chandamaraipu, Padachilambu, Pala Visai Pada. Okay, so Lord Ganesh anklet. This is explaining Lord Ganesh anklet. The anklets on his legs there, feet, and she can see that, as well as she see the cool sandal, anointed feet. The feet is completely anointed with cool sandal, and Lord Ganesh is wearing the anklet, and the feet looks the color of the red hibiscus flower, Chandamari bloom. Right, that's what Chandamari is. Red hibiscus flower. Chidakalaba Chandamari bloom, Pada Chalandu Palavisai Pada. So the anklet is going to sing a lot of songs. It's making a lot of very melodious songs. While Ponnarai Jnanam Pundigal Adayum, then also he is also Lord Ganesh also wears golden waist belt. There's a belt which is made of gold. Ponnarai Jnanam Pundigal Adayum, and his clothes are as soft as flowers. Pundigal Adai. Clothes are very soft as flower. வண்ணமரங்கில் வளர்ந்து அழகு எரிப்ப. That means beautiful colors of the rainbow. He's shining, Lord Ganesh is shining like pretty and beautiful colors of the rainbow. Okay, வண்ணமரங்கில் வளர்ந்து எரிப்ப பேழை வயிறும் பெரும்பார கோடும். And his belly, paunch, and you can see the lines there, and also his tusk look like a heavy line there. There are lines you can see in his belly, and big belly, and the tusks are really heavy tusk. And of course, Veramuham Vilangu Sindhiramam, he has a element like face, and in that face he has saffron dot applied on it, right? Veramuham Vilangu Sindhiramam, the beautiful colors, saffron dot applied on it. Then you also have Anjikaram Angusa Pasman. He has 5 hands. He seems to have 5 hands. And the goat on the rope that he has. Okay. Anjikaram Angusa Pasman. The goat and the rope he has. That's the goat he has on the hand. Angusam. And also he has the Angasa Pasam Ninjit Kudiganda Nilameni. His body is like blue color. Okay, his blue body is attracted our mind. The blue body, Nilameni, Ninjit Kudiganda Nilameni. That means your blue body has come into my mind. So attracted to my mind. The Nandravayam Nalirupayam. The mouth is hanging like the elephant's mouth, of course. His 4 sets of shoulders. Naliru Yamum, Mundru Kannum Mummada Chodam. All right, his 4 sets of shoulders, his 3 eyes, his 3 trails of his feet. Okay. Irandu Sevi Milangapan Mudiyum, his 2 ears, his shining golden hair. Okay. Irandu Sevi Milangapan Mudiyum, Tiranda Mupurunu Thiroli Marbum, is glowing a broad chest, okay, and wearing the holy thread. Okay, Ilangapan Mudi, the holy thread. And then she also says, Sorpadam Kadanda Turiya Mainyana. Okay, Sorpadam Kadanda Turiya Mainyana. Sorpadam Kadanda, mastery of words. There is no words to explain. Sorpadam Kadanda, There is no words to explain the divine knowledge of, divine Turiya knowledge of Lord Ganesh. சொற்பதம் கடந்த துரிய மெய்ஞான, divine knowledge Turiyana is beyond words in Tamil, any language. சொற்பதம் கடந்த துரிய மெய்ஞான அற்புதம் நின்ற கற்பகளிரே. So the poet Avaya is stood in awe at the wish-giving elephant. She always gives the wish of the followers. Okay. சொற்பதம் கடந்த துரிய மெய்ஞான அற்புதம் நின்ற கற்பகளிரே. So she's stood in awe, and she knows that Karpa Kalir. So Lord Ganesh gives whatever you want. And then goes to the next stanza. All right. So all this again, in the beginning, she is explaining how Lord Ganesh looks like, physical form. Muppadam Nugarum Mushiga Vagana. Okay. So the Lord Ganesh, he rides on an elephant and eats 3 fruits. All of you know what are the 3 fruits? Ma, Pala, Vari. Those are the famous 3 fruits of Tamil tradition. Mango, jackfruit, and banana. Okay, Ma, Pala, Vari. Those 3 fruits. Now for taking me, Mupparanur Mushiyavagana, இப்பொழுது என்னை ஆட்கொள்ள வேண்டி. Now, for taking me and making me yours, எப்பொழுது என்னை ஆட்கொள்ள வேண்டி. So you are going to, ஆட்கொள்ள வேண்டி means you are going to come inside me. Okay? ஆட்கொள்ள வேண்டி is going to get inside me. That means in devotion, she says, you are going to come into my mind, my heart, and my soul. தாயாய் எனக்கு தந்திரு, தாயாய் எனக்கு தானெழுந்தருளி. தாயாய் எனக்கு தானெழுந்தருளி. Okay. Now you come in the shape of my mother. Okay. You are going to give me the blessings like your mother. தாயாய் எனக்கு தானெழுந்தருளி. மாயா பிரவி மயக்கம் அறுத்து. மாயா பிரவி. That means this life is Maya Pravi. That means it's an illusory birth. So please, and Avaya is asking, please cut off this trance-like feeling of this illusory birth. Birth, death, everything is illusory. I cut it off. Make clear to my mind the meaning. Maya Pravi Mayakamaruthu Tirindiya Mudal Arindilthum Telivai Purundave. Okay. Please make clear to my mind the meaning of the 5 letters, 5-letter word. What is the 5-letter word here she is talking about? It's the Namah Shivaya. Okay, 5-letter word, Namah Shivaya. 5-letter word, Namah Shivaya. Please explain to me. So it says, திருந்திய முதல் 5 எழுத்தும் தெளிவாய் பொருந்தவே வந்து என் உளந்தனில் புகுந்து. Explain this 5-letter mind to my mind and then enter into my mind. So once you have a 5-letter mind in you, your mind is clean. Okay, so keep on repeating this Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Once mind clean. So Avaya is asking Lord Ganesh, please give the letter 5-letter word and the meaning of it, because the mind will be clean. Then please enter in mind. Her mind, she wants to keep it clean for Lord Ganesh to enter. Okay. What are you doing with the time? We're almost done. Let me finish this stanza and then we'll continue later on. It's a long poem. திருந்திய முதலை எழுந்த 5 எழுத்தும் தெளிவாய் பொருந்தவே வந்து என் உளந்தனில் புகுந்து. So please enter into mind after cleaning up the mind with Namah Shivaya. Okay, we'll continue with that. So we have gone through about 20 lines in the Avaya Vinayagar Agaval, and from there we'll continue. So, if you have any questions at this point, Nideta, any question regard? Thanks for coming. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. No questions so far. That's clear.
Thank you. Another question, Rika? Okay, get history and everything. Okay, so With that, let's finish today's lesson. We'll continue next week until we give meanings of all the jnana and the yoga and the pranayam part given by in Vinayagar Agaval by our saint. That let's say Om Shivaya. So I feel Vinayagar Agaval is almost like a compendium of many of the siddhas. Yogic technique, very short form. It's really good to have a detailed meaning of Vinayagar Agaval and follow us. So let us start the 2022. Yes. All right. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namaya Navasima. Mavayana Sisiyana Mava. Vasimayana Om. Shivaya Namah. 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Happy New Year, Nivedita.
Happy New Year. Ella nala pochingla. How was your visit with Priyanka?
Oh, she's right here. I'm very happy. She'll be leaving soon, but she's very happy
Oh,
that
okay.
she's here. So that's
There you go.
very nice. Yeah, it's
It felt like it went very quickly for the kids.
I know. This was not even counted as holiday. Because barely she came, and then she's leaving now very soon. So
Yeah, so it just flew by.
I don't know because we don't know her university is not yet told because of the Omicron. We don't know if they are going to do online classes or they're going to form a bubble in there. They not yet told us anything. So.
Well, that's nice if she gets to stay home a little longer with online.
We wishful thinking.
Yeah. How was
your New Year? Good?
Yeah, the kids are good. Yeah, they're just like, oh, we have to go to school tomorrow, and I think they're giving the kids an option to do 1 week at home.
Oh, really? That's good.
Yeah, I think it's more for the people that have traveled or have been exposed, so they just want to play it safe to take 1 week off. Well, not off, but to do it virtually. So
all the three will be at home tomorrow.
I think we're gonna go ahead because I think it's only an option for people that are in kind of like unsure if they did international travel or they're unsure whether if someone was exposed or something. So And last year, the virtual school was amazing. It was as if they were at school. They had to wear uniforms. They were always like, turn on your camera, very strict. Like I would say Somerset was one of the best in the virtual school. We felt like they didn't lose anything not going to school. In the virtual, I don't know if Manohar told you, we got COVID.
Oh, yeah.
So what happened is, so I was positive, my husband was, and my son was, and my daughters were not positive. So we kind of isolated inside the house, like that side of the house, this side of the house. So we tried to keep them away, but my son had to stay home for 5 days. And the school, it was really terrible because the teachers like, oh, you don't have to log in. You're not going to really, because they're not able to communicate. They were just listening in. So I felt he really didn't get any good, that week for remote learning. But last year when they gave the option, they did a great job. But now that people are exposed, when they give them that week to log in, they're not really giving them good
anyway, first week of school is like getting back and alame
right. Readjustment.
We start from 10th. I think usually it's better the second week of school. By then they can go. That's nice.
They can go.
Oh, good.
Right.
Good.
But we're all back. This happened 3-4 weeks ago. So now
You're doing better. You're doing okay.
Yeah, we all got better. It was just my husband was a little more intense. He got the boost. We both got the booster, and then we got sick. So it was is it from the booster or is it? That's why we couldn't figure out what.
So we have one of it is happening to a lot of people also. We have one of our friends who complained the same thing. Booster it seems they got very sick. It seems. That was
right.
amazing.
So we weren't sure booster nala sikacha illa COVID nala. So it was very confusing that whole time. It's is it because we're sick of the booster? It was just
if you're triple protected, booster COVID check off everything. Now you can move freely.
But luckily, I think Omicron, they're saying it's not too severe that a lot of people are. It depends on the people again. It's very unpredictable. Hospital, some people just comes and it goes very quickly. So it's so hard to predict this virus in general.
But in general, Nideta, I think Omicron is only symptomatic, and because many people are vaccinated, or a flu mary வந்துட்டு போகும் normally. And I think eventually it is the whole COVID-19 is going to slide down like that only. So இன்னொரு வேரியன்ட் வந்தா கூட அது இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் மைல்டா இருக்கும். அப்புறம் flu மாதிரி ஒரு நார்மல் வைரஸ் ஆயிட போகுது.
ஆனா அந்த நிலவேம்பு கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கீங்களா?
நிலவேம்பு கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்கோம்.
அது நல்லா ஒரு 4-5 days ஹஸ்பண்டுக்கு பயங்கர உடம்பு வலி, இது ஃபீவர், பயங்கர every single day he had fever, and இது கொடுத்த உடனே completely went away. It was such a game changer. அது வாங்கி வச்சுக்கோங்க இருந்துச்சுன்னா. It's very good, especially for the fever and the body pain symptoms.
ரொம்ப நல்லது.
ஒரு 2 தடவை கொடுத்த அந்த கஷாயம், but it was amazing. We were shocked.
Very good.
After he got it, the fever went away, body pain went away. It was just very good.
நான் தான் இவங்களுக்கு எல்லாம் கபசுர குடிநீர் தான் கொடுத்துட்டு இருக்குது திருப்பி. And I have some preparations also for taking the kapha out. So it's really working
but that
good.
helped actually by doing the oil pulling and cleansing of the thing. Jasti kapha doesn't get stayed in your in the
system, right? Yeah, that's what's more overwhelming.
That is what I realized. Severe but oil pulling panni. I mean, I turned my daughter into a believer too.
Yeah, that's good.
So she was forever trial and error, but I gave her that eye thing and cleansed her off, and then I gave her steam and all that. She believes that there's
Right.
something
It's
in there.
hard to get this generation to believe, but once they believe, it's in their mind now. So that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
That is good.
ஆமா ஆமா அதான் இது நம்ம மாரி அது யோகா பிராணாயாமம் பண்றவங்கலாம் வந்து மீலுக்கு முன்ன ஒரு பிராணாயாமம் பண்ணிட்டு சாப்பிட சொல்றாரு பாபாஜி. So that is also I think
Oh, அப்படிங்களா?
ஆமா ஆமா.
Okay, okay. For all the meals, all 3 meals முன்னாடி பிராணாயாமம் பண்ணிட்டு
சாப்பிட சொல்றாரு.
Okay, wonderful. I will definitely do that. I learned some.
I know, I did too.
அது நானும் பண்ணலான்னு இருக்கோம். சைட் ஃப்ரம் அவர்கிட்ட வந்ததுனால ஸோ அது பண்ண அந்த பர்டிகுலராக தான் நான் சொன்ன மாரி அந்த நேசோஃபெரிஞ்சியல் ரீஜன் தான் அந்த வைரஸ் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல அக்குமுலேட் ஆகுது. அண்ட் சின்ஸ் யூ ஆர் டேக்கிங் சயின்டிஃபிக்லி ஆல்சோ இட் கேன் பி ப்ரூவ். ஃபுட்டு நம்ம சாப்பிட்றதுனால பெரும்பாலும் அது போகுது. பண்ணிட்டு பண்ணுறதுனால அப்போ எனக்கு அப்போசிஷன் அது நிறையாவே இருக்கும். ஸோ அதை நம்ம ட்ரை பண்ணி பார்த்தா வி ஷுட் நெவர் கம் டு அஸ். அண்ட் அஃப்கோர்ஸ் இஃப் யூ கிளியரிங் த கபா ஆல்சோ வந்தால் கூட மயில தந்துட்டு போயிடும். ஒரு ஃப்ளோ மாதிரி.
Right. I'll definitely start. நாளையில இருந்து ஆரம்பிச்சிடுவேன்.
Good luck to your kids.
பாத்தீங்க உடம்பு பாத்தீங்க குழந்தைங்க பாத்தீங்க.
கண்டிப்பாங்க. Thanksங்க and I'm happy to hear that everyone's safe.
Same to you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Meeting for all. Okay. இதுக்கு முன் வச்சா சொன்னோம். நீ என்னமோ போட்டிருக்க அது வந்து இவரும் வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தா சரவணன் வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாரு இவங்க வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாங்க இவ போயிட்டா திடீர்னு ஏதோ விஷயம் போயிட்டு அவர் திருப்பி வரும்போது வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தா so I had to enter in so பாத்துக்கோ by mistake you should have made it இன்னொரு வந்ததுன்னா
but anyway இப்ப ஆயிடுச்சுல George Mason building closed due to inclement weather virtual instruction and work will continue online
இப்போ
but our implement